Hi folks, today we'll talk about the new nightmare dungeons that Blizzard gave us in Season 9, how this affected obducite farming, what, where, how often things appear and drop. I'm talking about giving you all the key nightmare dungeon changes. I'll give exact data on the drop chances for the sigils themselves and the chances of experience wells with an XP buff, etc. Minimum general info, maximum numbers and details. New off here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's go. First pleasant news, all the mechanics of regular and escalated dungeons are now not only for seasons, but also for the Eternal Realm. Seasonal bonuses for levels ND and sigils can be distinguished by the seasonal symbol, a leaf. That is, rewards or bonuses marked with a leaf are only for seasons. Unmarked ones are for both the season and the Eternal Realm. Let's start from the beginning. What drops in nightmare dungeons in general? Pretty much everything, though in small amounts. Legendaries, regular and ancestral. Almost all types of resources, uber boss keys, any runes, and finally, you can get all types of Chorus Bazaar tributes here. Not that Nightmare Dungeons, ND from now on, became a place to farm everything in the game, no. But it's nice that, even with a small chance, you can get a bit of everything. Second pleasant news. Now both regular and escalated nightmare dungeons are quite competitive for farming obducite. That is, if earlier we had the no alternative Infernal Horde and Kurast with the obducite tribute, now there's a decent option to farm obducite in ND. Obducite is an important resource for masterworking, i.e. enhancing an item at the blacksmith. Overall, I'm saying nightmare dungeons are now worth paying attention to. The dungeons are available right from level 1. They are regular. To make them nightmare, you need a nightmare sigil. Nightmare sigils exist in two types, regular and escalated, also called empowered, also called legendary. Any type of nightmare sigil comes in various forms, with location, bonuses, rewards, and penalties listed on them. How to get nightmare dungeon keys. Regular, magical, the blue sigils, are crafted at the occultist and drop from Whispering Tree caches and world bosses, less often from random elites or mini bosses. The powder to craft sigils also drops from Whispering Tree chests. Helltide chests is given after completing local events and from killing elites. Plus, one random regular nightmare sigil is guaranteed for completing a regular nightmare dungeon. Regular ND are single-level dungeons with very varied objectives. You fill progress and get to the boss. After killing the boss, you get rewards. Boss loot is almost always the same. From mobs and elites in nightmare dungeons, you also get the same loot set. But from chests, you mostly get, or only get, the loot that was specified on the sigil. Escalated nightmare dungeons use the same principle as regular ones, but have 4 levels. The first level has the bonus shown on the sigil. After killing the boss of that level, you see a portal listing the bonuses and penalties that will work only on the next level. And so on, when moving to each next level, you're shown bonuses and penalties only for that level. Same on the final 4th level with the boss. Loot from the boss is strictly defined by that level's bonuses. You can get obducite with a materials bonus or an escalation sigil or Uber's keys, anything. You have no idea what exactly you'll get from the boss almost until the very end. Excellent design. Escalated nightmare sigils can't be crafted, only obtained from other nightmare dungeons with varying chances. My personal measurements look like this. Regular ND without strongrooms ran 26 ND. Found 10 random strongrooms there. From those 10 got 8 escalated sigils. Also found 6 experienced whales. Chance to get an escalated sigil from a regular ND without a strongroom affix is approximately 30%. Regular ND with strongroom affix, 33 runs. Naturally there were 33 strongrooms, though one bugged and didn't render. From those 32 strong rooms, got 18 escalated sigils. Experience Wells data is incomplete since I usually left the dungeon after the storage. Chance to get a legendary sigil from a regular ND with strong room affix is approximately 55%. Now escalated ND ran 30, all with any bonuses except strong room bonus. Found 32 strong rooms, got 22 escalated sigils. Chance to get a legendary sigil from escalated ND without storage affix is approximately 73%. Found 17 experience wells. That's 1 per 5.3 ND levels, excluding boss levels since XP wells never appear there. Now escalated ND with a storage affix. Logic says, if even without guaranteed strong room on the first tier we got 32 strong rooms from 30 sigils in the previous measurement, now there will be more. And that's the case. Skipping all numbers, chance to get an empowered sigil from Escalated ND with a strongroom affix is approximately 85%. Clarifications. Nightmare dungeon monster level depends on world tier. ND no longer have any minimum or maximum level. Strongrooms are guaranteed if in the sigil buff, also guaranteed if listed in a level's buffs, and can also appear randomly. The random spawn rate depends on world tier, not player level. If a strongroom is listed on the sigil, or as a bonus for that level, and it's not there, it's hiding somewhere on an unexplored part of the map. From each strongroom, up to 2 empowered sigils can drop. Experience wells can appear on every level of 3. All types of Karas tributes drop not only from Escalated, but also from regular ND. The Forgotten Wisdom affix on a sigil or an Escalated ND level guarantees an experience well on that level. If it's not there, it's hiding somewhere on the map edge. For obducite farming in Season 9, including a detailed breakdown of all types of new and old ND, see a separate video. There's already enough here. It is approximately 50,000 per hour. Strongroom bonuses themselves. At first, your eyes will dart all over, but that's a deceptive impression. The list of bonuses is as long as it is useless. The principle is simple. The most profitable bonuses are pre-marked in their respective colors, and for now these rarity color markings are relevant. Over time, things will change. For example, as in the Horde, where a useless Council Ether bonus is marked legendary, eventually the same will happen with these colors. I've heard they plan to rework the Horde. Maybe they'll align the colors too. For Stronghold Room affixes, it's simple. It's all about harmony stacks. That means harmony bonuses are important. Harmony is awarded for mobs that spawn heavily after activating a pylons. That means speed of ritual completion is also important, and vice versa. If you're still weak, avoid red warnings about increased damage or similar. Inside the fortress, just follow the flashing markers on the minimap. Early on, 100 seconds won't feel like enough. Later, it'll be easy. The recommendations never change. Level up, improve your gear, don't invent a build, and so on. And everything will die at the mere sight of you. Conclusion. Running all the magical sigils and all ND to the end to guarantee your next magical sigil will only be necessary at the start of the season. Later, there will be no shortage of any sigil type. In my view, at mid-season 9, the balance is good. The more you play, the less the shortage, and then a moderate surplus after 100 hours. I like it, to be as specific as possible. Later, you'll only need regular sigils with a strongroom affix. Run all empowered sigils, period. It's especially nice that high dungeon clear speed doesn't mean fewer resources. You can farm at any pace and your relative resource per hour won't change much. This means you can go slow, open every chest, and do local events or rush straight to the goal, ignoring everything. Overall hourly yield will be about the same. Tested on obducite personally in long sessions. Didn't check other resources. They only feel rare at the start of the game. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bye. And now a short fragment in pompous style. This is from the moment you encounter the strongroom pylon inside an ND to choosing the strongroom bonus. Once you locate the gateway, activating it will trigger monsters to ambush your location. Defeat them, and a Horadric portal will materialize to teleport you into the safeguarded strongroom. Once you've stepped into the musty, iron-tinged confines of the strongroom, you'll have a few decisions to make. Initiate the Horadric artifact pillar, and slay the enemies to complete the initial ritual. Once completed, you'll be presented with a selection of Horadric statues that augment the strongroom. Some of these statues have held the bonds of their original intent, while others have been corrupted by Astaroth's influence and pose a significant danger with vastly increased rewards. You'll need to invoke these Horadric statues to influence your strongroom, so choose wisely. Oh, creepy. The creepiness is not in the pomp, but in the fact that all this is written dead serious for Diablo fans. And their age is usually not 8+, and not even 15.